There's just doesn't seem to be much of a market at all. There's a little bit. I mean, there's some small new apartments, but I'm talking, you know, we've been paying $250 in rent. We're gonna have to pay more rent no matter how you slice it. But yeah, having to pay more rent and get less housing, that's a pill that's pretty hard to swallow. Normally, you know, you pay more rent but get at least the same amount of housing. But to pay more and get less, you're getting hit on both sides there. So the recap of the recap is that we've been here 5 days now. We've been faithfully hitting the pavement, working hard every day out in the hot sun. Somewhat of a discouragement trying to stay out of the tourism, but trying to get some decent, you know, take a look at the housing market, and not really surprised at the results. Kind of already knew it. You're just dealing basically with the tourism, short-term stays, vacationers, that kind of thing. I found 3 houses for $300 or less. Now, if you talk to people, they'll say, "Oh no, it's more expensive than that." But doing the hard work, I found, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 2 apartments and a house. And again, they all fit the mold. It's not U.S. standards. They're not huge. Most of the houses are very small. 100 meters, 1,000 square feet seems to be standard. So it's interesting that when I called her on the price and said, "That's a tourism price for short term," she agreed. Every time I do something like that, it just confirms to me that my sense is correct about the prices. Yeah. And so it's the same thing as in Cuenca years ago. People were coming down and paying tourist prices, but for long term. Exactly. And they just don't understand that. Pretty soon, if everybody does that, you can no longer get anything for a local rate. And this is why you're getting these really dumpy houses, but they're still asking $400.
Oh, that one house we just looked at.
So we feel like we've combed the majority of the market, the rental market, 90% of the market in 5 days, just because the market's so small. You know, we did use a taxi one day. We paid for a taxi. You pay them hourly, you know, you negotiate. You know, we got a pretty good feel for it, and sometimes you just have to do what you've got to do, you know, and you just have to make a decision and do what you got to do, you know, because what else can you do, right? What else can you do? So guys, the Wi-Fi rabbit ears work. They actually work. I was not able to get on the internet in the back room here in the hostel in previous times, but thanks to the benevolent expat that brought those down to us. Thanks again, guys, for bringing it. It works. So the almuerzo's starting to get here. We got a little light soup here. You get a juice with these almuerzos, and I asked them if they could do it without sugar, and they said yes. Yay! Really good lemonade without sugar.
Yeah, it is good.
Oh wow, great job. The chicken soup is amazing. So anyhow, it makes me think when we were back in Panama last year, in David, Panama, Chiriqui province, and we were desperately looking around for a locally priced almuerzo. I shouldn't say desperately, we just do that. We just look around. What we found out is that in Panama, the low end of the pricing on the lunch is going to be around $5.50 to $6.50. So we were looking for something more at a local price. We ran into this almuerzo place that was only $2.50. That's right, only $2.50 in David, Panama. The problem is when you go into the lower price lunches, below $4.50 in Panama, we found out real quick that the air conditioning's not included. Anyhow, we found this place for $2.50. So the lunch was phenomenal. They gave us a huge plate, big rice. The rice was stir-fried with vegetables in it. It wasn't just plain white rice. A huge piece of chicken. You had fish, I had chicken. And it was like $2.50. Whoa, but it was so hot in there. There was no air conditioning.
Yeah, it was pretty warm. Well, Panama is like 100 degrees.
Well, it feels like that because it's so humid. And I mean, your clothes are sticking on you and you feel like, oh my gosh, why am I wearing these clothes? It's so hot, you know. But we found our 250 almuerzo. The food was great. Thank goodness we've got Wi-Fi ears. Let's see here.